Hey guys, welcome to Content Culture. It's Tomi.
And Nicole.
And here we are, back again. And this is very exciting because this is our first week doing this with all of our new equipment, but in separate places because we're in the fun sun of Charleston. And now we're back separated. Too soon.
Yes. So I'm hoping we won't have any technical glitches, but this is our first time recording separately, remotely in the new format. So hopefully everything will go well. But how are you? How's the past week been? It flew by.
I know, it did fly by. And also, I just want to share too, if you guys didn't know, last week was the first time that we had even met each other in real life. We had been friends on Instagram for a very long time, probably at least 4 years, I feel like.
I was gonna say 4 or 5 years, I feel like at this point.
And then a couple years ago, I found out we had the same birthday.
Yes.
Leo people stand up. And
August Leos rise.
Rise. And so after that, and then I feel like this past year, we just became even closer. So it didn't feel that weird to start this with you because I was like, oh, whatever, we're besties. It's fine. And then I started getting very anxious. So I was getting out of the car in Charleston. I'm like, wait, what if it's a completely different vibe?
Okay, same. So I posted when we announced the podcast last week on Instagram, I posted on my personal page that it was our first time meeting in person. And someone was like, what? I felt like you guys have known each other forever. And I was like, it feels that way. And the same thing, I was didn't think anything of it when we were let's go to Charleston and record our episode and hang out and meet. Mm-hmm. And then my Uber was pulling up to where we were staying. And I was like, I'm really about to spend the weekend with someone I've never met before.
Stranger.
What if it's just totally different? It wasn't. It was I feel like it was the exact same vibe.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm excited to just jump right in here. Yes, we're going to be previewing some of Katie's men, but there are a couple of things that I want to touch on first before we even get into that.
Let's do it.
Can we talk a little bit about Mr. Nicholas Cannon?
Yes. Can you give us a background, a breakdown of what's been going on with him lately?
Well, first of all, can I just say that I feel like it's honestly weird that he's involved with a lot of Nickelodeon things. There are times when he's hosting the Kids' Choice Awards, and there was Drumline I loved him in, and all these other, was it Love Don't Cost a Thing? Yeah. So it was that, and then he got married to Mariah Carey. I'm like, look at this man, an icon.
Wild and Out.
Iconic. Doing America's Got Talent, and then within the past couple of years, it's been downhill quick.
So quick.
He had a lot of anti-Semitic rants. And then now it has been revealed that he has 4 children from 4 different people being born in this calendar year.
This is wild to me. So Tomi sent me a DM about it. I had not heard that this was going on. I knew he had multiple children running around.
He has twins with Mariah too.
Right. And so I was like, okay. But she sent this and she was like, there's 4 babies in 1 calendar year being born. And I said, it might be time to start slut shaming men because if first off, a woman couldn't have 4 different fathers in a calendar year. It's not possible. Humans, science said, it's not possible for women. But if a woman did that, let's say she back to back had 4 kids by 4 different men,
right?
Up and down, the media would be like, oh my gosh, what a slut, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's time to start slut shaming men.
Let's do it. Because it's not even about the fact that you have children with multiple people. I mean, that happens. Situations, circumstances arise. It's how do you purposely go into this thinking how can you be a good father to someone? You can't even split up weekends. How can you split up weekends with all of these people? You cannot. Well, it's physically not possible.
And then I kind of look at the women, not the first woman, but the most recent one. And I'm like, so this man had 3 other pregnancies going on. Mm-hmm. And you
with announcements. It's secret. It's they took the little Instagram announcement photos, whatever. So they know.
And you didn't think, why don't we wrap it up and be safe here? You thought, let's just play the odds. Like, obviously he is very fertile. Like he is getting women pregnant, right?
Very fertile.
But also, like, you thought, like, this is the man I want to be the father of my children.
Yeah. I'm just like, drumline money is not that good. Like, there will be an end date to these resources, especially now spread out. I think it's 7 total.
Right. I'm like, the drumline money might be good. The welded out money might be good. But when you've got 7 kids.
Not good enough?
Not good enough. It's messy.
It's not for me.
No. That's not what I was called upon to do. But I applaud our sisters that are doing that. I feel like they are not going to get the support they need from a partner in this situation because their partner has so many partners.
Yeah.
Period.
No. Oh my gosh.
So also this week, Lil Nas X performed on SNL.
He did.
Our baby. I mean, he's been a hot topic this year because, you know, the Montero music video, you know, we talk about like Beyonce dropping the digital album, the world stopping. I feel like he dropped this music video and everyone was talking about him.
Yeah. And I think he is so smart. And it's honestly so funny to see the people who are like blowing up about it because I'm like, this is exactly what he wanted. It like played into his plans. He's like, I had this huge viral success with Old Town Road. It's like, how can I even slightly recreate that to get that buzz going? And he did it here. And for me personally, I was like, listen, I am happy that you were letting your freak flag fly. You know what? Love wins. I was just like, I cannot, I don't know if I can watch with the little horns. It's a little too much for me. Feeling sanctified. But
did you, when you like read like the why behind of like why he chose that image and everything, did you understand it? Okay.
Oh, I completely understood it. And I like applauded him for doing it. And I wish we could have more conversations about like how harmful, I mean, it happens all the time. It's not like you know, like people aren't talking about it, but we need to continue having more conversations about how harmful the church is when it comes to the LGBT community and not just, you know, of not being welcoming, but like how traumatic it is for them to like be carrying this with them for years on end. And so like having this, like kind of like flipping the script on that and having it in the music video, I was like, iconic. I love it. And I like that he's taking it there as a male artist because like who else is doing that? You know, I think only like women are really the only ones who are doing like creative music videos and like set design and stuff like that right now.
Right. So I loved that. When I heard he was going to be performing this on SNL, I just was like, how? Because even though it's late night TV, I was like, some of this is going to have to change. They did change some of the lyrics and it actually flowed really well. But what was wild to me was he was wearing these leather pants that were like laced up the front and they split during the performance. So he had his hands over his business while he was dancing so that, you know, they could still air it. And then afterwards, I found out he said, I really wanted to do the pole dance section from the music video, but he wasn't able to because his pants split. And his dancers had just come in like 2 or 3 days ago before the performance because someone had gotten COVID.
Oh,
and it's still like, if you haven't seen it, definitely watch it. I was like, I could not guess on the dancers. Like it was very well done. So
I'm so proud of him that he was able to like keep it up, like that energy and keep doing it. Like knowing that that's like such a big opportunity and not just shutting down because he ripped his pants. And I know he was like working on that pole routine too. So I feel bad for him about that.
I know someone on Twitter like said to him, I guess he's a barb. I did not know that.
Yes, that's how we started off.
Yeah, so he's a huge barb, and Nikki had that wardrobe malfunction at the VMAs, I think, when she performed with Ariana and Jessie J, and she like held her dress the whole time and performed, and someone was like, just like Nikki's son to go out there and just do what you had to do on SNL, and I was like, love that for him.
Which, if you didn't know, barbs are fans of Nicki Minaj. I feel like we should have this like for conversation for anything. But yeah, they're called barbs and they're known as being some of the most intense fans on this planet. But also another thing from SNL, did you see Pete Davidson roasting Chrissy Teigen?
No, I missed this part.
He was like doing something for Weekend Update. I just saw the clip of it because I didn't watch the episode, but he was like, oh, if there was one thing COVID gave us besides like running off Chrissy Teigen or something, like we don't have to like pay attention to her.
Right, but she's been so quiet since this Courtney Stodden thing came out.
Yeah. It's very interesting to see the full cycle and evolution of Chrissy, because I feel like when I was first on Twitter, she was one of the people that like everyone loved to follow. She was always going viral for her clapbacks and stuff like that. And that's kind of what helped catapult her to fame, to being more than just a model and more than just the wife of John Legend. Like she kind of created her own brand from her power on Twitter. And recently it came out that she is known for bullying children on Twitter.
It's just been like like you said, it's been so weird because I feel like her brand has been off of her personality and like her Twitter feed, really. And that's how she blew up beyond just like being a model. And it's kind of like, I don't want to say full circle, but like don't idolize anyone, because like now we're seeing the other side of it. And I feel like it's so weird because I feel like I've grown with her. I've watched her from her beginning model stage, become a mother, like really come into her own, fight with the former president of the United States on Twitter. Constantly. And like now she's been silent, I feel like, the past couple of weeks, as she should be. Yeah. And so what kind of led to it too, I think, so last year she had a devastating loss where it wasn't a miscarriage. I'm not really sure what the technical term is, but she had some type of pregnancy loss, and it was really unfortunate. And she shared that story with everyone on Twitter, and it was really hard. And I think it was really brave of her to be able to share that. And so people love her authenticity for that. And then she came, I think it was like earlier in 2021, where she was like, I have to take a break because it's just too much. Because I think that kind of started not the downfall, I don't know, whatever you want to call this, but where people were like, why do you feel the need to share so much with your audience here on Twitter? And I felt like there's more attacking from her from that. So she's like, okay, I'm going to take some time off. Surprise, it was only 3 weeks. She could not last that long, which, like, you know what, girl, same. It's an addiction. But I would at least have gotten on a burner account for a couple more weeks just to say it lasted a month. 3 weeks, girl. Exactly. That's like when people announce they're taking an Instagram break and it's like 2 days. I'm like, you didn't have to announce you were taking a break then. Precisely. You didn't have to announce it. But then recently what happened is, if you guys remember from like, it feels so long ago now, maybe like 5 to 8 years ago. I don't remember the exact timeline. There was a girl named Courtney Stodden, and she became famous because she was like 15 or 16 at the time. She was like very voluptuous, like huge boobs, like big blonde hair. And she got engaged. She got married to this guy who used to be like a really famous actor in the 80s. And he was like 50 something years old. And I remember watching that as a child and being like, oh my God, this is so weird. Like, why aren't we saying anything about this? Because like, what type of home life, whatever situation is happening where her parents are okay with her marrying someone of this age, especially being underage. And of course, there's a lot of online discourse about it, but apparently Chrissy Teigen was just really going in. Yeah, I was like telling her, like, I hope you take a nap in the dirt, which is such a weird way to like phrase like kill yourself. Yeah. But it just like, it was totally inappropriate. It was like, what would even possess you to say this to anyone, but let alone a like 16-year-old, someone you don't know, a stranger on the internet, and then was privately direct messaging her as well and saying these types of things. Mm-hmm. And I said she is now, they've identified as non-binary since then. Oh, so okay. I apologize. But it's just, it blows my mind that Chrissy would be in a place. And then Chrissy's apology was really like, I was in a different place then and I've grown since then, which I hope she has. But it just kind of felt like at the beginning, she was like, I get to grow on the internet and the rest of you don't. So everyone sees my mistakes and it's a lot worse. And it's like, you need to take some ownership of what you did. Mm-hmm. Especially because I think Courtney came out and said that they're still blocked
by Chrissy.
Yes.
So I'm like,
so they didn't even get to see the apology that Chrissy
right.
tweeted out and said that Chrissy had reached out to them, and they couldn't even see that. So it just felt very inauthentic to me.
Yeah, I've always felt like Chrissy Teigen struggled with a lot of, not necessarily like just not body confidence, but just like confidence overall. And I feel like you can see that when she's like lashing out on all these things. And it just kind of really manifested in how she was attacking Courtney. There have been times when I've been like upset at a political figure or a celebrity, and I maybe like tweet about the situation. I don't even tag their account so they can actually see it, because I'm like, that's too much. They don't care about who I am as a person. But to go out of your way and DM them, I'm like, wow. And then third, knowing, because that's the whole part of the story, knowing that they're under 18 and you're still feeling comfortable doing that. I could not imagine doing that at this age. I couldn't imagine doing it at the whatever years ago that was when it actually happened. So I need her to take a lot of time to heal.
Yes,
and
it
work
seems
on
like
that.
she has a lot of work to do. I would assume that being a mother has probably made her more empathetic, because she probably would not want someone messaging her children these types of things. But at the same time, I don't think you have to be a mother to have that level of empathy,
Right.
and know that saying those things is wrong.
Mm-hmm. So time will tell what we'll see, if there will be like another rise of Chrissy Teigen. But I think like Ellen, she's on the way out.
Yeah, I think so too. Another story that came out this week was about former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay. The first Black Bachelorette, the first Black lead in the Bachelor franchise. Actually, I should give her flowers.
Yes.
And she talked about, I think she was on Ziwi, and that was when this kind of came out in this interview, was that she talked about how when the casting was done for her season, the Black men that were cast for her season most of them had not dated Black women before dating her, or were not interested in dating Black women before her. What are your initial thoughts on this? Because Rachel has talked about how, you can bring in more people of color, but until you're getting people of color into the casting room, it's still going to be a problem.
Yeah, I think I resonate a lot with what Rachel Lindsay shares, and that's why I love her so much. It's not something new for Black women to find that there are Black men and have to constantly question, like, do they even like Black women? Like when they're going on dates or trying to figure out if they want to pursue people. And so they hear that happened in a situation where they're trying to bring specific suitors for her. I can't imagine how hurtful that is, because it's like, here you are, you've signed on to do this huge thing and you have to be here, to know that at the end of this, you can end up with someone who doesn't really like you. And she's taking it very seriously. Like if you watch any part of her season, you see how seriously that she was taking, where she's like, I'm here for marriage at the end. So obviously we're thankful that she is with like hot Dr. Abs, Brian Absolo, but I can only imagine like how it could have gone because of these faults from production. And I do think that there needs to be those changes within the casting process, but also like not with just like who they're getting to cast the show, but making sure you're being more intentional about those questions. Like I don't think that's something that just needs to be on people of color. Like I feel like that's a very easy question to ask. Like, are you attracted to Black people? If the answer is no, then why are you
don't
here?
need to be on the season. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I get that you're casting for entertainment purposes, so it's not necessarily always going to be like the best fit. But I think from what we've seen, from the difference between the Bachelor franchise and the Bachelorette franchise and the success rate, like I was looking, and it's like there were the last 8 Bachelorettes, four of them are either still with their final person, and the other 2 are Claire and Tayshia. And they have, or at least they were with them for a year. I think that's what it was.
Okay.
So that they've been with them for at least a year. Then knowing that I feel like that's what makes it like successful. As long as you're with them for a year afterwards, I feel like that's a pretty good relationship. Versus the men who haven't had like any of that at all. So even though they're both casting for these entertainment purposes, like these leads, if they're taking it seriously, they're able to have these conversations with them. But if they can't even find someone who is attracted to them physically, then like it gives you nothing. So I feel like that's bare minimum, and that can really help determine such a great season. And it's why I'm so excited about The Bachelorette, because I feel like we actually get love stories from them.
Yes, agreed. So we have not really looked at the men on Katie's season. We're going to do it right now together.
For the very first time.
Very first time. I will say before we start, there was a man that was rumored to be on the season named Bao. And I am very, very heartbroken and upset that he is not going to be on this season, because that was the man of my dreams. Honestly.
We'll have to link a photo or something in the show notes, because when I tell you that this was probably like one of the finest men to ever grace this franchise. I followed him. I never follow people before the series premiere or whatever, because I was like, I need to understand, who are you? Like, he looked like a Disney prince. It was crazy.
He did. I honestly, like, I was writing the love story in my mind already. Was it him and Katie's love story? Was it our love story? I don't know, but I was writing that love story and I was ready for it. And I feel honestly deprived that he did not make the final cast, but that's okay. That's okay.
I'm hoping it's because they're casting him for Michelle's season. If not, I'm like, huge missed opportunity, because like this man definitely should have been the first Asian bachelor. Like, if it's not going to be Dr. Joe from Tayshia's season, Clayshia's season, then it needs to have been Bao, because woo, my God, my Lord.
All right, so let's bring on the men.
Can I also preface this too with, this is going to be very judgy. Like, we have not seen these people before. We don't know anything else about them besides what's here on this. And you know what? We're saying the same stuff that you guys will be saying on that Monday night when you're watching from your couches. So here we go.
And I also want to preface this by saying, I feel like the online bios always do these people dirty.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we see these pictures and half the time I'm like, ew. And then I see them the first night and I'm like, oh, he or she's like actually kind of cute, but they just like, I don't know what kind of camera lens they're using when they shoot their photos, but it is not a good one. It's not flattering.
Yeah, a lot of them always look a lot better in person, like through moving media versus just photo. I have my handy dandy notebook here because I'm going to be writing down some favorites. So hopefully at the end of this, maybe we'll be able to pick a top 4 just to guess, just for fun.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how good we do.
Okay, so the first man, his name is Aaron. He's 26. He's an insurance agent from San Diego, California.
Okay.
He's very attractive to me. So Aaron was an NCAA swimmer in college.
Okay.
He loves being outdoors, surfing, and lifting weights. It says he's thoughtful, sensitive, and very ambitious. Hopes to own his own business and work for himself in the next 5 years. He is looking for a woman who is down to earth, smart, funny, and is someone who doesn't take herself too seriously.
That sounds like her.
It does. It feels like a good fit for Katie, right?
Okay.
Fun facts about him. He has one tattoo. It's his family's initials on his neck.
I'll accept it.
The tattoo is cute. The neck placement kind of freaks me out, but we're gonna accept it. His biggest fears are rats and saber-toothed tigers.
I'll let you keep going, and then I'll share my thoughts.
Okay. And the last fun fact is his favorite holiday is Halloween because he loves when things get spooky, which I don't know this about Katie, but I feel like she would be a gal that loves Halloween.
That is so funny because you know how you have like horse girls?
Yes.
I feel like and Disney girls, you have Halloween girls. Yes. And she gives me strong Halloween girls vibes.
She does. I feel like she goes all out every Halloween.
Yep. She loves the Tim Burton movies. She's throwing on like the This Is Halloween soundtrack. Yeah, that's what I feel. Okay, so let's go back to these biggest fears. And it's not random, but like rats and saber-tooth tigers, I'm just like weird ends of spectrum. Also, like, when have you ever encountered a saber-tooth tiger?
Right. The rats one, I'm like, I feel like we should be past this at this point, but I can see it. I'm like, maybe you encountered one in your home and it was traumatizing, but you're right. The tiger, I'm like, So where were you at the zoo as a child and it like pounced on the glass?
Yeah.
And
Because I'm like, I would rather you say sharks. Because you get, you go to the beach, whatever. But I'm like, what jungles are you going to?
we don't know. So that is our first man. The next up is...
We have Andrew M. So they're from Newport Beach, California, deputy district attorney. Okay, sir, he's 31, which, do you happen to know Katie's age offhead? Just so I'm like,
I believe
writing
she
this
just
down
turned,
for
I believe she just turned 29 or 30.
Okay, so she's like, that's like a good age fit for me. When he's not in the courtroom, you can see him coaching youth water polo, building bonfires at the beach. He loves to play pranks, has a great sense of humor. Life is all about adventure. And here he is, because what greater adventure is there than the search for love? I love it. He played, one professional year of water polo in Hungary's first division, which is the most competitive league in the world. I'm glad they wrote that down, because I'm like, why are you in Hungary? But we'll take it. He loves sample men's fragrances from magazine inserts, enjoys woodworking, and he graduated from college. He Tebowed on the stage, which, if you don't know, Tim Tebow was a famous college football player who played at Florida, who would do like a kneel prayer thing whenever he would do like touchdowns. So guess it had a real impact on Andrew's life. Thoughts?
Okay, so thoughts. If you are listening to this, we will put a link to the whole bio in the show notes. If you're watching on YouTube, we will pop up a little picture of them. But I think he's cute. The whole the Tebow thing is a little strange to me. But I didn't go to the University of Florida, so.
But did he?
It doesn't say. He's from California, so I'm going to go on a bridge to say no. So that's a little weird too. The men's fragrances from magazine inserts, I am laughing because I just feel like this isn't what I expected.
Really? Because I see his face and I'm like, that's exactly what I expect. I honestly look at him and I see like he smells like a lot of too much cologne. And you're like stuck in the elevator with them and you're like choking, screaming out to the Lord for help.
I'm expecting him to still smell like Old Spice or Axe. And if he's sampling from magazines, we're getting some Givenchy, some Gucci,
Yves Saint Laurent, yes.
Yeah, and so it's more expensive than I expected. However, he's a deputy district attorney, and it's giving me ABC legal drama.
For the people, starring Andrew M. Love it. All right, let's move on to the other Andrew. You go up.
All right, so next is Andrew S. He's 26, a little young for Katie, but she just turned 30. I did confirm.
Okay.
Cool. He's a pro football player. It doesn't say if that's American football or world football, but
world. Yeah.
And he's from Vienna, Austria. He spends half of the year living in Vienna, where he plays professional football. So I'm going to assume that is soccer.
Yeah.
And the other half in the Chicago area, where he works as a football coach and teacher's assistant. A man that's good with kids. Andrew says living in Europe has given him an updated outlook on life, where people work to live instead of live to work. Love that. Let's go. He is not afraid to make a grand romantic gesture, and says that when the moment calls for it, he has no problem driving for hours just to hand deliver lunch and fresh flowers to that special woman. Andrew S. says he can't wait to get married and hopes to have 5 kids one day. Come back to it. The one thing he cannot handle in a relationship is poor communication. Lucky for him, the Bachelorette has no trouble in that arena. His fun facts: he has a great sense of humor, and one of his favorite party tricks is imitating accents from around the globe.
Believe it.
He loves to nerd out over ancient Rome and says that seeing the Colosseum in person was a dream come true. Okay. Loves margaritas and will happily challenge anyone who says they can make a better one than he can. And he is very close with his 96-year-old grandmother. That is Andrew S. What are your thoughts?
Well, that sounds very cute about the grandmother. I do love that. My thing was the 5 kids you said. Let's
Mm.
come back to it. So what about Katie gives you off the energy that she wants to have 5 niños? Por
I
favor.
don't even know for sure that I know that Katie wants to have kids.
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing wrong with that. Like we've talked about this. Like
Mhm.
I just don't think we should expect women automatically to want to have kids, and I don't know that Katie wants to
Let
have
alone
kids.
5. Yeah.
But if we're gonna have 5 kids, I need you to somehow deliver them yourself. Like I need to split that burden. That's where I'm at. I cannot carry and have all 5 of those myself.
Correct. If you want to have your own little football team, good for you. Not for me. He has to be at least bilingual, right? If he's living in Austria half the year. So I love a man who has, a love and appreciation for languages, loves to travel, very well cultured, loves his grandmother. I think he's a good person. I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. I don't think she ends up with someone who is a person of color. I think that she gives off strong ally vibes, but she's more of like, I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but
Are you saying she's not about that life?
it's like, oh, you know what? You do you, and that's great, but I'm not gonna do that.
So I do know, as a fun tidbit, Katie's last serious relationship before she was on The Bachelor was with a man that was Asian.
Okay.
And she did travel to Thailand to meet his extended family.
Oh, fascinating.
Yes. So I do find that interesting. I don't know if I see her picking or dating a black man, but she was also on Matt's season. So how can I really, I don't know.
But you know what? So is Rachel Kirkconnell. All right, let's move on.
So next up is Austin. You want to take it away for us?
Yes, I do. Austin, 25, real estate investor from Mission Viejo, California. It says he's been busy in quarantine because he works out 6 days a week. That's too much, sir. I'm sorry. You can do 4. Let me eat my honey buns at home in peace. Do not put that pressure on me. He flips 20 properties and says that in 2021, his goal is to flip over 100. All right. Gentrification, let's go. He says his weakness is a woman with a great smile, that he would love to find someone he can get dressed up with for a night on the town. He's truly searching for the Beyonce to his Jay-Z. And he says he hasn't found a serious relationship enough for him to consider marriage, but he's hoping to change that. I mean, he's 25. I kind of believe that. Loves to spend the day at the beach and work on his tan. Austin doesn't currently have any tattoos, but he definitely wants to get a few. And he loves his white shoes and fears the day that someone spills on them. Thoughts about Austin?
It's giving me fuckboy energy.
Let me look at this face. Do you think he has
the looks to be a fuckboy?
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. I was just too harsh. So
I don't know. I mean,
sometimes fuckboy's a way of life. It's not necessarily.
I don't think it's a look. I think it's a way
of life. Amen.
And the curls are cute. They're kind of cute. He's not for me. I think he's too young for Katie, and that's a conversation we should have. Katie just turned 30, so do we think she's going to be seriously interested in someone that's 25 or 26?
I don't think it's necessarily age-wise. I think it helps that he's on the West Coast and stuff already. I think it helps that he has like a pretty steady type of job, and he seems like a hustler. However, all the other stuff from the small bio just gave me that mentally he's still a little bit younger.
Any man that tells me he's looking for the Beyonce to his Jay-Z is a red flag to me. It just feels like you need to do some growing up. The fact that you're comparing yourself to Jay-Z and you flip houses and are not a billionaire like Jay-Z, right. it's not giving me what I need. Also, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, so right. I don't want that comparison.
Correct.
That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. And then the white shoes thing was too much for me as well. I'm like, haven't we moved from this point? Like, isn't it actually? I would honestly be freaked out to see like sparkly white tennis shoes in the wild.
Right. Like this is the age of the Grey Goose sneakers, honey. So
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose. You know where my head's at,
Bottoms
right?
up.
Golden Goose sneakers. So like that's what they're called, right? Well,
yeah, it's Golden Goose. Sneakers. I don't like them, so whatever.
I'm dying at my head going to Grey Goose. Okay. So
it tells you you're ready for a drink.
I am. So next up we have Brandon.
Okay.
I'm gonna be upfront. I don't like the look. It's not for me. The long hair.
Yeah, it's kind of like he was trying to do a little early Edward Cullen, and
he looks like Edward's brother.
It's not working for him.
He looks like Edward's brother. Jasper? Not the hot one. The other one.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's Jasper. Right.
Okay.
But you don't have the whole like vampire mystique going for you?
Yes. So Brandon is 26. He's an auto parts manager from Queens, New York. He describes himself as quirky, intelligent, and unapologetically himself. He went to Northwestern. Currently spends most of his weekends at home working on a new skill he's trying to develop. He doesn't tell us what that new skill is, which is a little terrifying to me. Currently, languages are a big interest of his. He is fluent in Japanese and Spanish and working on his Korean vocabulary. He says he needs a woman who understands the importance of putting in effort. He's looking for an equal partner. And his ideal date would be filled with meaningful conversation, delicious cocktails, Grey Goose, and a nightcap of home, getting cozy over movies and snacks. His idea of a romantic gift is a home-cooked meal or a handwritten letter. He says that experiences are greater than material things in his mind. Some fun facts. He loves to attend the occasional rave. Does kind of feel like Katie. That does. He hates exorbitantly overpriced restaurants, loves Japanese and Korean R&B music, and he finds joy hitting the open road on a motorcycle. Tomi, what are your thoughts on Brandon?
Well, he seems to kind of have a mix of everything going for him. In terms of look, I'm not feeling it, but it's almost slightly, it might just be chaotic enough that it intrigues her. And for that, I'm going to write him down.
Really?
I am. Just for the fun of it. 26 and being, New York, I'm almost like, but I feel like the languages thing I feel like that him coming out of the car or the limo, that's probably what his little gimmick is going to be. He's going to like speak all the different languages to her.
Okay.
To try to pull her in. Because that's what I would do if that was my little like special talent. Definitely.
I could see that.
So that's it honestly, I was kind of bored from everything else.
Yeah, I he doesn't stand out to me, but maybe he'll stand out to her.
Yeah. So we went from Brandon, and we'll go to Brendan, who's from Canada, a firefighter trainee. He's also 26. He enjoys living life to the fullest. It says, obviously he's in the process of becoming a full-time firefighter. He has no specific deal breakers, but says that loves being clean and organized and hopes to find a woman who feels the same. Wonderful, Brendan. I hope this means that you wash your legs. He is a straight shooter and says that nothing makes him happier than putting a smile on the face of the woman he loves. Brendan is in a great spot in his life to go on this journey and try and find his perfect match. Fun facts. He's not a good dancer, but it doesn't stop him from tearing up the dance floor. Love that. Favorite sport is hockey, and he plays goalie in a local league. Very Canadian. Really does not like vegetables. We can work on that. One day, Brendan hopes to take the love of his life swimming with sharks. Okay.
Here's my thing. You can't be 26 and still hate all vegetables. There's got to be something you found that you like. You like carrots that are maybe in a maple honey glaze.
Right.
It's giving me he hasn't grown up yet.
It's giving that he just doesn't know how to cook, because I've learned that that's really what the difference is when it comes to vegetables, is you just don't know how to cook. And so that they can taste good. But I
don't want to date a man. I think you'll appreciate this. I don't want to date a man that can't cook.
Yeah. No, because I can't do it. So, it's going to be like, is it you or me? Are we door dashing every day or what?
Right. Like, I don't want to have to take on all of the cooking. So if I'm dating a man, like, he needs to know how to make at least one vegetable dish that he likes and tastes good.
I also feel like it should be illegal to come on this franchise now named Brendan when we have already met the beautiful Brendan, and we don't need to have another one. It's good. It's like having another Tyler at this point. It's over.
Waste.
Right. Right. Yeah, nothing else really standing out to me. Don't think it's working for them. Forehead's not working for me, so we can keep it moving.
Speaking of foreheads not working for us, we go on to Christian, who I would say the forehead is also not working for me. We've got that receding hairline. It's okay though. Christian is 26. He's a real estate agent from Boston. He sees the romance in everything. His parents have been married since their early 20s. So this is going to be our contestant that, says, I want to love like my parents. Mm-hmm. He dreams of finding a long-lasting love like theirs. He spends a lot of time with his family, and he wants the woman he ends up with to love them just as much as he does. Red flag, maybe, pink, orange. He wants a woman who is confident and driven. That does sound like Katie to me. Which makes sense considering how successful he is professionally. He's sold over $25 million worth of residential real estate properties.
Okay.
I'm doing the percentages in my head. I'm like, all right.
Right.
He's looking for a best friend to go through life with, free of judgment. His ideal woman values the meaning of making a promise and keeping their word. He hopes to find a woman who is a hard worker that will push him to be the best version of himself. Fun facts, he dreams of driving the Batmobile one day. In his younger years, he rocked a faux hawk. He loves parades, and don't let his smile fool you. He's competitive in the spot and mixed martial art bouts. What do you think of Christian, Tomi?
Honestly, this just sounds very Republican to me, so it's a pass.
I'm just looking at him and he's giving me very average man.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. I mean, I'm glad he's very successful in his life, but I just don't see it.
Good for you, girl. Good for you. But yeah, I don't think it's a good fit for her.
Okay.
We've finally made it to our first contestant who has the fun job title. We have Cody, 27, who's a zipper sales manager from San Diego, California. It says, on the surface, Cody is a handsome surfer with a six-pack. Well, okay, fine. But he's a romantic gentleman at heart. He loves hanging with the boys, making necessary moves to achieve his dreams of owning a home by age 30. Bro, same, but in this economy, we will see. His other dream, having someone special to share that future home with. He loves valuing authentic connections. He has no trouble being transparent with his feelings. I love that. It says he was a proud Eagle Scout. Favorite show is Jersey Shore. He is not a good cook, but swears he is a master on the grill. I'll accept. And if Cody could live in any other time period, he'd be a cowboy in the wild, wild west.
Okay, so I love that he wants to buy a house. I think Katie does own her house.
Ooh. Does she really? In Seattle?
Outside of Seattle. Like in the suburb.
Good for her.
He's kind of cute. Like, I think Katie would like the look of him. You don't think so?
I think, again, he seems like someone who could surprise me in the like first night of being like, oh, he looks a lot better than his cast photo.
Okay.
But just from this, it's not enough. It's not enough for me.
Okay. That's fair.
I also feel like he doesn't have it didn't seem like there's a lot of interesting factoids. That
I feel like I don't know that much more about him other than he's blonde, blue-eyed.
Yeah. I mean, if you say your favorite show is the Jersey Shore, I'm sorry. We both love reality TV, but not that show to be your favorites. So.
Okay, so let's get into the next man. It is Connor B. He's 29, a math teacher from Nashville. Cast photo is not doing him any favors. Just going to say it that way. Mm-hmm. He is lovable, quirky, and charming. He teaches 8th grade math. He does have a master's degree in medical physics and a resume that includes nuclear engineer. Okay, so he's got some, well, he doesn't really have money because he's a teacher, but he's got some good, he's got a good education.
Yeah.
Looking for a woman that is enthusiastic and will have zest for living life every day to its fullest. He describes his ideal partner as genuine, kind, socially accepting, and open-minded. It's giving me ally vibes. Mm-hmm. He wants someone who will build him up and love his family as much as he does. He wants to go on dates that go to multiple locations because he's always trying to impress women he's out with. Mm-hmm. His one major deal breaker is a woman who doesn't respect waiters because there is no place for any bullying in his life.
Love that.
And we know that part of Katie's story arc was not bullying, anti-bullying. So this, it
Mm-hmm.
seems like they'll have that in common. Fun facts, he loves dressing up and is the proud owner of his own tux. He can eat cereal faster than anyone, and he dreams of going to Italy and overindulging on pasta. What are your thoughts?
Fascinating. I almost like, is he like a teacher, like a high school, or is he like a professor? Because
He
I don't
teaches 8th
know.
grade math.
Oh, is that on there?
Yes, he's an 8th grade math teacher.
Oh, that's fascinating. What type of like fancy school in Nashville are you teaching at? I just feel like if a master's in medical physics, that's a lot. But I don't necessarily know if I see her with him. However, he seems like a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly could get, to the halfway point and perhaps do a strong arc on Paradise. That's kind of how I feel about him.
Okay.
His fun facts are like, eh.
Yeah.
But I do love the whole thing about the waiters. Like, that is such a huge turnoff for me. And like, very easily you can see who a person is by how they treat service members of like any type of like waitresses or like, flight attendants, whatever. It's just like,
exactly.
it's too much for me. So yeah. Who do we have next?
We have
another Connor.
C.
Did we just do Connor? Connor B. So we have Connor C.
We have Connor C. I know.
Connor C. 28. Former baseball player. Costa Mesa, California. Athletic stud with a Midwestern heart of gold. Spends life living in Southern California, where he spends most of the time at the beach, but he dreams of moving home to Oklahoma to settle near his family and build a life with his wife by his side. You can't see right now if you're not watching the video, Nicole's face is grimacing a little bit at the Oklahoma move, and same. He's always up for a good time, whether that means a night of bowling, intimate, or enjoying an intimate night in. He's looking for someone who shares similar religious beliefs to him, because raising his future family in the church is a huge priority. He's never left the country, so hopefully this journey is the start of a new adventure for him and the Bachelorette. That's presumptuous. Fun facts, he shares the same birthday as Matthew McConaughey. He loves his puka shell necklaces, and he loves breakfast burritos and blueberry pancakes. Honestly, let's just skip to the next.
I don't think we need to say anything. Okay, listen, I feel like we don't know a lot about Katie's faith, but I don't think she is someone that builds her life around her faith. So I just don't feel like it's going to be a match.
Exactly.
That's really all I have to say.
Yeah, less that she wouldn't be open to being with him, but more of like, I think he wants someone like at the same level of 10 with him, and it's not there.
The puka shell necklace, the Oklahoma movie, it's just not
the Oklahoma as well, yeah.
Okay, so next up we have David, which he's cute. Listen,
he's cute.
I know Tomi, when I first got a picture of all of the men, I was very underwhelmed, but he's cute. He's 27. He's a technical product specialist, also from Nashville. He is a first-generation American, born and raised by Jamaican parents in New York. Mm-hmm. Recently left his family in New York to pursue career opportunities in tech sales in Nashville. He's looking for a woman who is intelligent and wants to succeed. He's extremely attracted to women who have a quiet confidence, which I don't know is Katie. Mm-hmm. I think she's got a loud confidence.
Right. Not afraid.
He hopes to find a partner that is passionate about both building a life professionally and romantically as he is. And he wants a wife who will be proud to stand next to him for the rest of their lives. Hopes to find that with Katie. His fun facts are favorite food is New York City pizza. He was on the debate team in high school, and NSYNC is his favorite boy band. What are your thoughts?
Oh, first of all, taste in terms of favorite boy band. Love the, attracted to women who exude a quiet confidence, but again, I don't think that's Katie. Yeah. Also, can we talk about like Bachelor Nation hubs now in the country? I think it's like New York, Nashville, and LA area. So like Santa Monica, whatever. Yeah. So I think you have a better chance at it working if you're already in one of those hubs, because that's most likely where you're going to end up after the show.
Yeah. And then even if you don't work out with the lead, I think it's good for like the Paradise and like maybe having a relationship with someone in Bachelor Nation afterwards. So
precisely.
He has a beautiful smile. This might work out for him. Not with Katie, but with someone else.
Exactly. Love it. Oh my God. I just messed up. Let's see. Oh, Gabriel.
Yes. Come on.
This is sad because he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. So I feel like I should whatever, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of creeped out.
He's
creeped out.
For those that we will put a link to the cast photos, but for those that aren't watching with us, he's trying to give us the Brendan from Glacia's season with the turtleneck, but it's not happening.
I thought you were gonna say something about like this like weird smolder smirk smile he's doing that's not really landing for either of them, so it just looks like he's holding in a fart.
I was gonna say serial killer vibes, but that's a lot better. Holding in the fart's a lot better.
Yeah. So he's 35, entrepreneur from Charlotte, loves the expression Renaissance man and feels it describes him well. He prides himself on having lots of passions and interests. He loves a woman who is as stimulated by intelligent conversation as he is and who truly knows herself inside and out. In a perfect world, Gabriel says that he and his future wife will grow together and never stop unpeeling each other's layers. Okay. He doesn't understand. Right. He doesn't understand the concept of athleisure and believes that people should respect elegant styles of the past. He loves to play tennis, and Sean Connery is Gabriel's favorite James Bond. So in other words, this is this season's Bennett, and I'm already feeling that this will be a villain edit right off the bat.
Yeah, I would say night one, but I feel like he'll stay longer because he's a villain.
Yeah. I'm writing that down to watch out, because if he's not, then I'm like, why did you guys give him this bio look? Yeah, it's not for me. It's definitely not for her. So
okay, so next up we have Garrett. We know Garrett's in this franchise tend to be evil characters. Garrett here is 29. He's a software marketing manager, lives in Salinas, California. Was raised in a small California town with ranch life, barbecues, and baseball. Now he lives a life dedicated to his career in marketing. He's missing his perfect woman. She is caring, intelligent, and someone who prides herself on being a critical thinker. He loves being romantic and says the perfect date is a night out at his favorite steakhouse. He is a YOLO type of guy. But take note, he is very loyal and is looking for a wife, not a one-night stand. At the end of the day, he's someone that wants something that lasts forever and dreams of sitting down next to his wife, holding her hand and looking at the family they've built. How sweet is that? His fun facts: he has a 5-year-old German Shepherd named Archer. He is not a fan of tangy foods. And one day he wants to climb to the summit of Mount Everest. Thoughts?
Besides using YOLO in the year 2021, I feel like he could possibly be a good match. West Coast, marketing, and even though it's software, I feel like what she wants is to have like the TikTok king to her TikTok queenness and just like dominate the social media game because she's like amazing at it.
Okay.
And so I don't know if he necessarily could keep up on that level, but I think he can be another middle of the pack type of guy because he's pretty cute.
He's pretty cute. I am struggling with that. He doesn't like tangy foods. I'm like, so like sweet and sour chicken is
like out. I'm also, he's a German Shepherd. The dog thing feels very like, I feel like she would swipe right on him if, it was like a normal Bumble situation.
But she's a cat person.
Oh, we can't have both?
I mean, you can have both. I think she's a cat person.
Fair. All right. Let's see here. Greg. Greg, 27, marketing sales representative, Edison, New Jersey. Greg is the full package. He's handsome, kind, vulnerable, and serious about wanting to settle down. Considers himself a hopeless romantic, and a perfect first date would be something active, like riding bikes, dancing, or going to a concert. He wants to travel the world with his wife before having kids, of which he says he wants to have at least 6. Who are you guys? Greg is also extremely close with his family and says his parents set his definition of #romance goals. Thanks to their love, the standard for what a successful marriage looks like are high. Greg wants to find someone he can grow old with and treat like a queen, so the Bachelorette may just be swept off her feet. Fun facts: he is not afraid to admit he cries during movies. Love it. Biggest pet peeve is slow drivers. True. Dreams of seeing LeBron James play basketball in person. Fascinating.
For me, it's the audacity of these men to think that we're going to have 5 or 6 kids.
Yeah. I just, and again, no shade to those who do want the larger families or, like off the bat said that. But I feel like if I wasn't dating someone who was like from the South or Midwest, where I'm trying to like repopulate my family's farm and get to work at like 5 a.m. in the morning and, getting eggs from the chickens and milk and whatnot, why do I need all these extra farm hands? Like, why?
I don't want to go back to the Nick Cannon conversation, but I'm like, should men have rights? I'm like, should men like get to decide how many children we're having when like they're involved? Yes, but like they aren't doing any of the heavy lifting. I'm like, you can just tell me if you want kids or not. How many we're having is like, it's a group discussion. It's definitely not a you decision.
Yeah. 6. So I'm assuming that would mean that he come. And also whenever people say that, I usually feel like they come from big families. So like they like that feel of community and whatever. And, I definitely said like I wouldn't, have hated having like a brother or whatever too. But like to get to 6 is a lot.
And like you can't just like move to a city and have a community of people that aren't related to you.
Yeah. I think from his look, he's giving me like slightly above average, but like approachable type of attractiveness.
He's not giving me any attractiveness.
So I'm gonna have to see how he like.
He's not giving me any. I don't want to like call you out again, but this is no. Mm-mm. No, ma'am. This is a hard path. This is for me.
I'm sorry.
This is the first night he's gone. He has gone the first night.
Yikes. My thing is also like, if you're 27, you work in marketing, like live in New Jersey, you have a pretty average job. Like, can you not just go to a Nets game and watch them play LeBron? Like, you only got a couple years left, sir. You gotta get moving on that.
Okay.
Maybe that's why he wants to do this, so he can move to LA and see him up close and personal.
Perhaps. So next up we have Hunter. Again, these cast photos are not helping these men out with me. He's 34. So for those that are listening, Tomi just opened his picture and like visibly gasped.
I'm sorry. I don't know what it is, but it's a lot. It's too much for me.
I'm gonna scroll down because it's giving me a lot. Again, serial killer. He's 34, so he is older than Katie. He's a software strategist and lives in Houston. He's described as expressive, passionate, and outgoing. He doesn't believe in holding back. He has 2 children already. He's always been a romantic and says that even as a child, he was known for writing incredible love letters and always being the guy to surprise his crushes with mixtapes or flowers. Wow. He's looking for a woman to be his other half. I hate it. Someone who is compassionate, witty, great at communicating, and who will love his kids as much as he does. He says that he will never stop believing in romance because, quote, when you hit the mark, there really is no better feeling. He wants to find someone to stare off into the stars with for the rest of his life. Fun facts, one of his favorite pastimes is people watching. Same. He has never ridden a horse, but really wants to. I feel like he'll probably be able to do that in New Mexico if he stays past the first night.
Yeah.
And he has a pet parakeet named Zazu.
I feel like the horse thing is good to note because he's from Texas. So it's like,
yeah.
Shouldn't you guys be like riding those to work or something? Just kidding, Texan fans. Go back to why you were like, oh, I hate it for the better half thing. Because we've talked about it, but I don't know if you've shared about it on here of why you don't like that.
Okay, so I don't like when someone's like, I want to find my other half or my better half, because I'm like, it suggests that we're not whole human beings on our own, right? Like I am a dynamic person. I would like to find my person, my partner for life. But if I don't want to be referred to as half. I'm a whole human being. I am dynamic on my own. Finding a person is just like I want them to have their own things. I don't want them to complete me. I want them to be complete on their own.
Boom. I love that. Yeah, I think it's interesting too. I don't know if I've ever. Oh, okay. No, there's Amanda Stanton. I was trying to think of someone who's been on the series who has not 1 kid but 2. In terms of not coming on like as a single parent. But Amanda Stanton from Ben Higgins season did that with her 2 precious little girls. But it's very rare. So I'm interested to see how they kind of like share that. And for that, I feel like you can't send people home on the first night who have kids because you feel like they quote unquote gave up more to be there. So he'll at least make it to night 2. Good for you, Hunter. But that's all I have. So we're at Jeff. Why do I keep getting the weird ones?
Okay, this is giving me an older version of Jed from Hannah B's season. I don't know why. It just is.
Jeff, 31. Guys, his job title, surgical skin salesman. Which, when I saw this on like Facebook or Twitter going around, I think it just said skin salesman. So thank God that they specified here. He comes from a big, loving Italian family and is looking to find the love that his parents have. For Jeff, family is everything. Very Italian of him. He loves a good home-cooked meal from his mother. When he's not dealing with his clients, both in and out of operating. No, Jeff. Yes, is it? Okay, never mind. I just misread that all wrong. But he loves to have the home-cooked meals from his mother when he's not dealing with his clients, both in and out of operating. His family and professional life are in a great place, and now he is hoping to find the only thing he is missing, love. He's energetic, outgoing, and loving to his core. He seeks an adventurous woman with a great sense of humor who won't have trouble giving it back to him when he sees fit. Jeff calls himself an exceptional lover. Interesting. Do you have like a Yelp account somewhere where you know this? Mm-hmm. So here's to hoping he doesn't show up and disappoint. If Jeff could have any other job, he would be a CIA agent. Or is he? And this is him just trying to throw us off. Has never met an animal that he didn't love, or that didn't love him, and lives for good Italian food, which you kind of just said that already, Jeff.
You skipped one line that I think is kind of cute because I love a family-oriented man. It says that he still finds time every weekend to mow his parents' lawn, which is either charming or a little discerning. I don't know which one. I don't know.
It's kind, I guess.
Yes, it's kind. I want someone that like loves their family and helps take care of them. I just don't like the look. I'm gonna be honest. I just don't like the look. Nothing really jumped out at me that says like, okay, he likes cheese and noodles. Don't we all? Except for Tomi. But
it's just the cheese part, guys. I love noodles. Don't hate me.
But yeah, I just don't see anything like stand out about him.
Yeah, same. I mean, I think the job, again, will keep him on because it's super interesting. But I'm going to have to see how he is out of the limo because he says energetic, all this stuff, good sense of humor. I find that a lot of times the guys who are saying this are not giving it themselves. So we'll have to see with this one, just like a lot of the other ones.
Okay, so next up we have John. He's 27, a bartender from Pacific Beach, California. I think he's cute. I'm going to start there. I think he's cute.
Okay.
He's a thrill seeker, and at the Bachelorette, he will find thrills, is what it says. Between studying to get his pilot's license, surfing the San Diego breaks, going to EDM shows, and jumping out of planes, wow, John is always finding ways to get his adrenaline pumping. He's a romantic and would love to find a woman to share a burrito with him while watching the daily sunset over the San Diego coastline. He's looking for someone genuine, honest, and willing to challenge him to be a better version of himself. Loves women that are confident in their natural beauty and says nothing turns him on more than when a woman pursues her passions every day. Has very little tolerance of anyone being unfaithful or dishonest and says this is his major deal breaker, especially when someone treats another person disrespectfully. Fun facts, he is a vegetarian. Loves the smell of fireplaces. If you've never heard of a kiwi berry, John wants you to Google them and eat one immediately. And he thinks swing dancing is so much fun. I'm getting a throwback to Pilot Pete.
I feel that same type of vibe. And it's funny, when I saw the swing dancing, I don't know if you had this at college too, but there was like swing dancing clubs. And I also felt like maybe it was like an era of like white people in the South where like I would go to any wedding or function and people just flipping and doing stuff. And I'm like, what is happening? I thought we were done with the cha-cha slide, a little Cupid shuffle. And then this is happening. So it made me have a little PTSD for a moment, but good for him.
We did not have that.
So just Auburn then. Okay, Warrior go to that. So,
he's got a great smile. I said I think he's kind of cute, but he seems like an adrenaline junkie, which he kind of said. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I want to meet someone that wants to share a burrito with me.
Yeah, that's what I chuckled earlier. I'm just like, that seems very low stakes. Like, is that all the ceiling of your dreams is to share a burrito with someone?
Couldn't be me.
I think you can do better. But John, I like your vibe, but I'm almost scared because I feel like you're giving me night one, but you have a beautiful smile. So hopefully, John, you make it past night one.
All right, guys, we have gone through about half of the men. We will be back next week with the second half of Katie's Men to talk about some of the off-season things of the Bachelor Nation. And I think that's about it. Tomi, anything else?
No, I'm excited. And we'll share, I think, more of like our thoughts and hopes for what we want to see from this season with Katie as the lead. So I'm excited to get into this and stay tuned for part 2.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Bye-bye.